Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, I'm genuinely excited to explore a topic with you today that maybe sounds a bit simple at first, keychain data drives. But trust me, the market story here is anything but simple. We're going to be doing an in-depth look at the Keychain Data Drives Market Report 2025-2033 insights. Yeah, our mission today is basically to cut through all of the detailed projections, the growth trends in this report, and give you a really clear, sort of streamlined understanding of this, well, surprisingly dynamic market. We're diving into global figures, regional values, those compound annual growth rates, the KDRs looking back from 2021 all the way out to 2033. Now, when you hear Keychain Data Drive, what pops into your head? Maybe, I don't know, an old USB stick, something rattling in a drawer. Get ready to be surprised. It's actually a pretty significant market and pretty relevant still in our digital world. So let's start big picture, the global momentum. And the figures here are, well, they're really compelling. Paints a picture of a market that's really taking off. Back in 2021, the global market was valued at $1.73 billion. Pretty solid.
Fast forward just to 2025, and that's projected to climb to $2.31 billion. But here's the really impressive part. By 2033, the forecast is, wow, $4.15 billion. And underpinning all that is what the report calls a healthy CAGR of 7.581%. I mean, we're talking about the market more than doubling in value in just over a decade.
That kind of growth, yeah. More than doubling over 12 years. That really makes you sit up and take notice. It suggests, this isn't just some fleeting trend. It's not just one new gadget causing a temporary spike. It points to something deeper, a really embedded and expanding need for these kinds of devices. And if you think about why, I mean, even now with the cloud being so dominant, it shows there's still this persistent global demand for data solutions that are, well, secure, tangible, and super portable. Think about like creative pros needing instant offline access to huge files, or maybe healthcare needing secure physical transfer for sensitive data, where networks might be an issue or regulations are tight. This growth suggests these drives are actually evolving, finding really specific, important niches to fill.
That's a great point. It's about how they're being used, not just how many. And that global picture, yeah, it's made up of all these different regional stories. So let's zoom in a bit. North America first. It's consistently, a big pillar for this market's expansion. The whole North American market started at $674.836 million in 2021. This projected to climb to $1.54 billion by 2033. That's driven by a pretty solid 7.136% CAGR. And if you dig into that, the United States is, well, unsurprisingly, the biggest chunk. $555.39 million in 2021, forecast to hit $1.25 billion in 2033. That's a steady 7.017% CAGR. But it's not just the U.S. scale that's interesting. Canada also shows, the report says, robust 7.861% CAGR. Sales jumping from $73.557 million up to $182.215 million. And Mexico's in there too, right? Projected to more than double, from about $46 million to over $107 million with a 7.35% CAGR.
Yeah, and what's compelling in North America, it isn't just the sheer size. It's thinking about what's driving it. We're seeing strong uptake in businesses, especially IT departments, data recovery, places where physical control and speed are just crucial. Imagine a sysadmin needing to do an urgent update on a server in a secure place with no internet, or a company needing to physically move massive data sets for disaster recovery. These drives, they're not just basic USBs anymore. You've got hardware encrypted SSDs, high-speed Thunderbolt 4 stuff now, perfect for those jobs. And even beyond that, think about film and video. They're using these to shift huge 4K, 8K video files around on set. Cloud uploads, just too slow sometimes.
Right, that really paints a picture of how the tech is meeting very specific professional demands. Okay, let's out across the Atlantic. Europe, another established market for sure, but it's got its own interesting quirks, different dynamics. Europe's overall market, $394.52 million in 2021, climbing to $898.285 million by 2033. That's a 7.153% CAGR. Pretty similar to North America overall. But what's really striking is the difference within Europe. Germany, for instance. It really stands out. It's got one of the highest growth rates at 7.88% CAGR. So it's going from about $76 million to nearly $188 million. But then you contrast that with, say, Russia, 5.678% CAGR, or Luxembourg, 5.656%, lower growth. Still positive, yeah, but definitely slower. Okay, let's unpack this variability in Europe. What insights can we glean? Like what factors, economic, regulatory maybe, are creating such different results across these economies?
That's a fantastic question. And yeah, the report does touch on this kind of nuanced picture. In places like Germany, you see really strong adoption, and it's often tied to its big manufacturing sector, right? Plus, those strict EU data privacy laws, like GDPR, sometimes those rules actually favor direct, secure physical data transfer over the cloud, especially for sensitive business or industrial data data like the auto industry, sharing huge design files securely, or software updates for cars. They often need those FIPS-certified hardware encrypted drives. On the other hand, countries like Russia or Luxembourg, maybe they're at different stages in their digital infrastructure build-out, or maybe different levels of local manufacturing for these things, or just different consumer habits around data storage. It really shows how local policies, economic focus, and industry needs shape demand, even for something available globally.
That's super insightful, getting to the why behind those different numbers. Okay, now, let's turn to where the market is really, really booming. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Asia Pacific. This region is just showing incredible momentum. It's an absolute powerhouse of growth. The report shows the region expanding substantially, from $460.273 million in 2021 to more than double, hitting an amazing $1.21 billion by 2033. And that's fueled by a remarkable 8.462% CAGR, significantly higher than North America or Europe, right? Suggests different things are going on. Within Asia Pacific, China is playing a huge role. Started at $139 million in 2021, projected to hit almost $376 million by 2033. That's an 8.661% CAGR, but it's definitely not just China. India gets highlighted. It has one of the fastest growth rates anywhere globally, an impressive 9.391% CAGR, surging from about $60 million to over $165 million. And there are others too. Singapore shows rapid expansion at 8.745% CAGR. Southeast Asia as a whole, a strong 9.028% CAGR. I mean, this is clearly a super dynamic area for these drives.
Yeah, and what's really captivating about Asia Pacific is just how consistent those high growth rates are. Across such a diverse mix of economies, too, you've got the giants like China, rapidly developing markets like India, sophisticated smaller ones like Singapore, that whole Southeast Asian region. It's undeniably a primary engine for the global market growth. And it seems driven by, well, rapidly advancing digital infrastructure, plus this exploding mobile-first population. So here are these keychain drives. They're doing a lot of things. They help share data offline where internet might be patchy. They're crucial for education in remote areas. They support the massive e-commerce and digital content scenes. Think about mobile gaming or social media content creation, transferring big files between phones, or local backups without using up network data. That's essential. So the demand there is often for durable, high-capacity drives that are also, affordable. And we're seeing tech adapt too, like rugged little USB-C drives made for daily use.
You can really feel that incredible pace of digital change reflected in those numbers. Wow. But the story doesn't stop there. We also need to look at South America, the Middle East, and Africa. These regions, maybe sometimes overlooked in tech talks, but they're actually contributing quite significantly. They're emerging as really vital strongholds for growth. South America, for instance, market growth from $74.4 million in 2021, rising to $188 million by 2033. That's a healthy 8.011% CAGR. And within South America, Argentina really stands out. Strong growth at 8.58% CAGR, going from about $12.5 million to nearly $34 million. Brazil's the leader there too, of course, growing from roughly $27.6 million to $68.7 million with a 7.871% CAGR. Then you got the Middle East. That market was valued at $67.5 million in 2021, set to increase to $167 million by 2033, a 7.824% CAGR. And within that region, the UAE shows even stronger growth, 8.396% CAGR. Climbing from $13 million to over $34 million. And finally, Africa, market expansion there, $58.8 million in 2021, reaching almost $144 million by 2033, supported by a 7.146% CAGR. South Africa is mentioned as the largest contributor within Africa,
Going from $25 million to over $65 million, a 7.708% CAGR. These aren't trivial numbers at all, and the growth rate's pretty consistent, sometimes even accelerating. It's really eye-opening.
Right, and if you connect these regions, South America, the Middle East, Africa, to the bigger picture, you see them as, crucial growth frontiers. Absolutely. Their CAGRs are consistently strong, especially in places like Argentina, Brazil, the UAE. It signals this rapidly expanding digital landscape, often, alongside ongoing infrastructure development. So these drives become really indispensable tools, maybe for first digitalization steps in smaller businesses, or for secure transaction logs in developing financial tech, or distributing educational materials, digital literacy stuff where reliable internet isn't everywhere yet. The demand here can often be for just reliable, cost-effective storage for everyday stuff. It shows that as more people get online, the need for physical data options remains fundamental. It complements the cloud. It really underlines this universal need we seem to have for some tangible control over our digital lives, whether it's for security, convenience, or just bridging connectivity gaps.
So, after all that, what does this actually mean for you listening in? Whether you're just curious, or maybe an investor watching signals, an IT pro, or just someone tracking tech trends, these insights are, well, pretty profound, I think. The core message from the report is crystal clear. The global keychain data drives market is seeing strong, consistent growth everywhere. We've seen that, especially high momentum in Asia Pacific and South America. Places like India, China, Southeast Asia, Argentina really driving things. And just to reiterate that staggering projection, the global market, more than doubling between 2021 and 2033, that's a huge shift in a fairly short time. And it definitely challenges some assumptions about data storage, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It fundamentally challenges that easy idea that, oh, the cloud's made physical drives obsolete. Nope. Instead, what this shows is a really dynamic, complementary relationship. So for an investor, it signals where innovation and value are still happening in data storage beyond just cloud services. For an IT professional, understanding maybe which industries are leaning more heavily on encrypted physical drives or seeing the shift to faster, tougher flash storage with new connectors. These aren't just numbers, they're signals about evolving data strategies. It tells us that physical, portable data transfer, maybe for better security, maybe for instant convenience, maybe for specialized work, or even just bridging digital divides, it's still incredibly relevant. And actually, it's accelerating. It really points to this persistent, almost human need for tangible control, for immediate access to our digital stuff. That cloud alone just can't fully satisfy in every single situation.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? Just the sheer amount of data being carried around, secured, transferred every single day, all over the world, from like supercritical business files needing top-tier encryption to just personal photos shared between phones offline. That seemingly simple little keychain drive. Clearly, it's anything but simple in its market impact. And the underlying need for it. It's kind of a testament to our ongoing need for reliable physical data tools that fit alongside and even enhance our digital lives, especially as they evolve with things like biometric security or maybe even self-destruct features for ultimate protection. And that wraps up another, I think, pretty illuminating deep dive into the world of market trends. Today, we journeyed through the really robust global growth of the keychain data drives market. We saw the consistent expansion in North America and Europe, and that explosive momentum coming out of Asia Pacific, South America, the Middle East, and Africa. It's clear this market isn't just surviving, it's thriving, evolving technologically and finding all sorts of critical uses. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. You know, as we keep generating just more and more digital information and relying on it, and with this market for physical, portable data expanding so fast, it makes you wonder what's next. What new evolutions could these keychain data drives go through in the coming years? Could we see them, I don't know, integrate right into our smart devices, maybe become self-powering, or offer quantum-resistant encryption as standard? The future of data portability. It's definitely one to watch. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you next time.